Well, thanks for joining us here at my Man United Hub. Um, a rather disappointing result on the opening day versus rivals Arsenal. But we'll take a look at it because you have to put everything in context. First of all, we have to understand that you're dealing with Arsenal, who have finished second for the last 3 years running. So, pretty much a team that's, together, playing together for a while, are just probably having to tweak a couple positions versus United, which is a team pretty much requiring, a complete overhaul and bringing in some new players, several new players who need time to sort of gel and understand the system and what the coach wants. So it's quite a difference when you look at the two teams playing it out. And I'd have to say that United gave a good account for themselves. They actually had more possession. If you look at the stats, they were more intent. They had higher energy. They were, had more. They created more chances and they had more shots on target. And but for a few inches here or there, where like for instance Patrick Dogu hitting the post, Mbomo causing a great save from the Arsenal keeper, we did have a good game, a much improved performance over what we saw last season, of course. But there's still a long way to go if United want to compete with the top four, five, six, seven teams in the league. Let's take a look at some of the key takeaways. I thought there was much more energy in the team, a higher tempo they were playing at. There is more intensity, there's more intent, more hunger on the pitch. You could see it, you could see the difference from last season. They didn't hang their heads, they did not implode, lose the plot. They stuck to the task as required by the manager. They kept, pressing. There was improved pressing all throughout the game. In fact, you would say that United dominated the game while not, putting the ball in the back of the net. They did dominate the game. They were much better in terms of performance than Arsenal, and you could say, well, Arsenal had a somewhat of a subdued day. But the point is, you saw a vast improvement in terms of what's on the pitch, how the players are playing, how they, a little bit of the chemistry taking place between United players. There seems to be, although it's just sprouts happening, an identity taking place, but we'll have to wait for some time to pass to make that judgment. Also, the midfield issues persist. Obviously, Bruno didn't have his best game, but you can see. I mean, even Ugarte, he had given away the ball a couple times, caused an almost well, actually a scoring opportunity which could have been disastrous for United. So something needs to happen in the midfield in terms of getting a quality defensive midfielder in there. And of course, we lost the game on a goalkeeping error. I have a couple of things to share with that. You'll see as I in the next couple of minutes. But overall, I think it was a much more improved performance. And so now is where the rubber meets the road. Uh, Ruben Amorim, he's shaping his team. He's bringing in the players he wants, and he basically has to show progress. He has to show improved performances. He has to, get obviously more wins under his belt. We're not saying it's a title challenge, but it would be nice and it would be something spectacular to see United get into European football for next season. But there's a whole lot of time left in the season. Let's see what happens. Just a couple of comments on, well, firstly, the goal conceded by United. Okay, I'm not going to excuse Bayindir. You have to be aggressive. You have to control your box. You have to take command of it. But we've seen this how many times before that goalkeepers, a little nudge, a little contact, and the whistle blows, and a foul is given on the keeper by the opposing player. If you look at the graphic, Obviously, the opposing player, the attacking player, doesn't even have his eye on the ball. He's no way trying to play the ball, and yet he is into the goalkeeper, into Bayindir with his elbow, his shoulder, however you want to look at it, and obviously that caused the error. Again, let me put it, to qualify, there's no way a keeper should not take control of his box. And if it seems now that what the league is saying is the keeper has to be as aggressive or more so, and he can push, he can shove, he can push, get people out of his way to get at the ball. Because from what I see there in that graphic, in that picture, the opponent, the opposing player, the attacking player, was obviously getting him out of the way, and he didn't even intend to play the ball as far as I can see. So that was kind of ridiculous. But again, it is an error, and it shouldn't happen. In terms of a keeper controlling and commanding his box. And the other point here, let's take a look at this incident. How is that not a penalty? Clear contact made on Matthias Cunha. Okay, you might even say, you could argue the point that he may have exaggerated, you know, uh, falling over, but there's clear contact, and the defender is not playing the ball, hasn't touched the ball, and Cunha goes to ground after contact is made on his leg, on his foot. You can see it. It's right there. So how is that not even reviewed by VAR? I just don't get that. All right, and just to wrap things up, well, there's still outstanding potential outgoings. United have to sell before they can really fill in some of the gaps that's needed, as we see in the midfield. It's Anthony, Sancho, Ganacho, Malacia, and even Hoyland. Rashford has moved on, but all these other guys are on the exit pathway. And we know that United would prefer permanent deals, but a lot of teams, clubs don't want to pay the exorbitant wages, and so loan arrangements may have to happen. Definitely, a defensive midfielder is required. We see the weakness that United have. Okay, so they've improved in terms of the attack, but I think the two areas, if they can't do a central defender, they have to take care of the goalkeeping and midfield. So that's a wrap here. Thanks for joining us, and see you next time. Thank you.